my goodness, you guys. Happy new moon in Sagittarius. I hope everybody is doing awesome. This particular new moon is a masculine fire mutable energy. So there's going to be a lot of ways that we're going to be coming into revelation about how we can express this healing and transformation in an outer way, like in our material ways and the way we act and behave and the way that we show up. The mutable aspect is going to help because it's like we're coming out of the chrysalis, and so the metamorphosis is complete, and now we're in this interim where we're almost like, if you think about this along the metaphor that we've been using for a long time, which is life is the series, right? So we're rehearsing for this coming season, and we're getting into character, and we're getting into method, and we're putting on the character of our higher self. And so what motivates that higher self in the morning to get up at a certain time and to go through certain routines? What gives your higher self more certainty and faith? What gives your higher self more discipline? And so we've been sort of given this chance to integrate those aspects of ourself if we were able to sort of start to embody and portray ourself turbocharged in a next level of potential. So at the same time, we have a Mercury retrograde right now that's going on in Sagittarius. And so that is assisting us in how we're using this time very wisely to reflect on the lessons that we've gleaned over the past 16 years while Pluto made its transit through Capricorn. And the metaphor that we've been using for that, remember, is that Pluto was the teenager finally leaving home and going off to college after living under the influence of a super strict and overbearing father, Capricorn. And so Pluto is whatever, I'm gonna rebel, I'm gonna go to college, I'm gonna make my mark on the world, I'm gonna be a revolutionary, eat me, dad. And the Capricorn is don't you forget what I taught you. Don't you forget everything that I've taught you. So Capricorn and Saturn have still been looming around. And so right now they're still sort of hanging over us. And so we're reflecting back on, now that Pluto is safe on campus and settled in and over the not in the trauma anymore of the karmic cleansing cycle. It's the tribulations are over. And so now it's sort of when you're at the end of an action movie and the characters are given a blanket and some hot chocolate, and they're coming to terms with what has just happened. And it's they can kind of look at it, not hysterically, because they're not in the middle of trying to survive it all. So that's what we're doing right now. So we're reflecting back on those 16 years, and think about it, it's the themes and lessons that we've learned since 2008, right? So that's going to hit every major area of your life, right? Romantic relationships, friendships, work, career, family, parents, how you feel you relate with society at large. Do you care what others think? Can you be yourself? Are you trying to perform still? What are those lessons that life tried to grow you through over the past 16 years? Think about those themes and those patterns that we've been breaking. They've probably been back around to revisit us and rear their ugly little head, because it's once we've sort of gotten through the training period, it's we've got to be tested to see okay, where are we now in our growth? And so the universe had to circle back and be okay, here's a familiar scenario. And you may have gotten in that scenario and thought, oh, I thought I was making so much progress. Why is this happening? And it's not that you've backslid. It's that you're going to a checkpoint and you're moving forward. But in college or university, when you get to the end of the semester, or even the middle of the semester, right, you take exams, midterms. When you get to the end of the semester, you take final exams. If you have been in a master's course or getting your master's degree in something, I think you have to, present your thesis that you've been working on, right? So it's like at the end of any big stage or phase of growth or achievement, it's like we go through these tests, and it's nothing personal, and it doesn't mean that we're in the wrong place or having failed in any way. It's just that this is the checkpoint. This is an unavoidable point in the progression here. So looking back on all of these lessons, we're really like, as we kind of maybe circled back and faced some of those little temptations again to fall back into old patterns or old behaviors or old coping mechanisms, instead we've had a chance to exercise that new consciousness, that new embodied awareness, and pause and say, no, what is this new cycle that I'm in now? What me do I want to show up as? I'm not going to go back into those old patterns. I get a choice this time. And so now it's like we're training our nervous system and our subconscious with new material, but better material. It's like, okay, now we're like, okay, I've gleaned this experience and wisdom. Now I'm preserving that and practicing it in easy training scenarios before this new cycle really kicks off. So that's why we're feeling this anxiousness for new opportunities to present, because we can feel them drawing near, but it's just not quite time yet. We're still in this phase of integration and rehearsal and getting things really solid, letting that foundation set. So we also have Jupiter, right, is that influence of bringing expansion into things. So life is really going to expand soon. It's just a matter of the timing that it takes to mature. You can't rush this process at this moment. And so just enjoy the time that we get right now to sort of relax and finish out the rest of the year, and think about maybe like the things that you wanted to do this year. Are there any goals that you can realistically meet by the end of December that, are getting you, like squaring things away and finishing off these cycles, in a not a like, I don't want to be perfectionistic, but you can, kind of like tie things up, right? And be ready to move forward without a bunch of loose ends, right? So see what you can do for the rest of the year. But new opportunities are going to be coming. Be careful that this Jupiter influence doesn't also make you want to like overindulge. It's very easy to do this time of year. And it's so funny because the more we overindulge in December, it's like the more we backtrack all the work that we did to like save the money, lose the weight, do all the things, right? It's like we undo our work once we get to December because we just like go crazy. So keep your healthy routines, give yourself planned little holiday splurges, but don't let Jupiter cause you to like completely fall off the wagon, right? We're practicing temperance, balance, and integration here. So let's see. This new moon in Sagittarius is also squaring Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn recently just went direct in Pisces. So no matter how, we're not that far away from Dad yet. Dad's like, you're not quite out of my house yet, like I've still got my eye on you. So this retrograde is happening and we're squaring Saturn in Pisces. And so basically when Saturn went into Pisces recently, it sort of like highlighted like what it's going to take to materialize our dreams and our fantasies and take us out of fantasy realm and into like put the pedal to the metal, right? Put skin to game, like put some skin in the game, take action. So be practical and pragmatic to get your dreams off the ground. And so we've been like starting to see like a plan formulating, right? And we're starting to feel like a little bit of guidance and a little bit of clarity about how this vision is going to become fleshed out and materialized. So it's giving us that oomph and that like inspiration to get really disciplined and motivated to take these actions to materialize our dreams. But it's also kind of highlighting, like, in an uncomfortable way right now, like what it's going to take to get there, but also what we're going to have to let go of or stop doing in order for that to be reality. Like, some things right now need to be let go of. So we're seeing, like, you know, what things in our life aren't working for us, what's draining our resources or our energy, you know, what shifts and tweaks and edits can we make. So that's happening right now. At the same time, there is a trine with Chiron. Chiron is the abandoned son of Saturn, right? So Chiron is the wounded healer, and Chiron learned to embrace his wounds as the abandoned son of Saturn, because that's what made him the wise mystic and teacher and healer for others. So it's like right now, as we're reflecting back and integrating all of this new wisdom, we're also like healing things that are coming up, and we're seeing how much we've healed. And it's like, oh, I'm seeing how much I've healed. I'm seeing the wound is still here to this degree. And so now I see what needs to be done to further mend and heal and tend to this wound in order to move forward. So Chiron may be putting us in uncomfortable situations so we can see what's still tender and what still needs a little bit of finesse and what needs a little bit of tender love and care. But that's good, because it's just putting a highlighter basically in what Saturn is trying to do with Pisces in order to get us on track. So it's like all of these influences are like, okay, let's go through the evaluation here. Let's sit down. Let's review your test. Let's go over your exam, basically. This is really good. You've passed all of these tests. This is where we're at now. Do a little cleanup here, you know, tend to these things here, and then we're going to be really good to go and like start launching new things when the new year begins, right? So really, really great. Re-envisioning our like new beginning. We're reinventing. We're seeing where the change is needed. Yeah, and then we're just really becoming acquainted with this new character that we are going into this new life and this new cycle. Okay. All right, that seems like I hit all of the points. Closing out old chapters, starting new ones. I mean, the past is really gone. The old timeline is gone. Like, it is stagnant. It is like the dust of a graveyard. So we are moving into this new reality. So things are going to be different. All right. Okay, let's get a card for us in the context of this present moment. We're going to do a Celtic cross with the straightforward oracle here, my own custom deck. Ooh, detox, eat clean. I love this for right now. I've tried to be in between Thanksgiving, knowing that I would have like leftovers and things from Thanksgiving. I was really trying to eat like super clean leading up to Thanksgiving. I'm like really gonna eat clean up leading up until like Hanukkah and Christmas, and I'm gonna try not to do anything too crazy over the holidays and get too overindulgent, because it's really nice right now, like practicing and rehearsing those healthier habits and patterns, like becoming the higher self. And it feels really good. I've been really doing well the past week or two. Like slightly shifting my routines and things, and I feel like a lot of momentum, and it's really nice. So like staying with this momentum by detox your energy, deep clean your house and environment. Decluttering your environment does so much. Cleaning your diet, eating clean, getting good sleep, lots of water, flushing everything out, maybe detox from alcohol, substances, and processed foods. I feel like you can eat mostly whatever you feel like in a balanced way if you're intuitive about your eating and you don't eat processed foods. You can make your own versions out of like whole food that you make at home, but it's like all of this processed food that you eat out of bags and boxes, like those are terrible for you. Okay, also in the context of this moment, I'm just going to pull this out for our second card. So crossing us now, we need to focus on gratitude. Cultivate feelings of deep thankfulness. Gratitude is a powerful and magnetic feeling. Appreciation, consciousness of value, seeing with the heart, humility, opening to joy, healing selfishness. So really focusing on your gratitude right now as we're detoxing and letting go of hard feelings, letting go of criticism, letting go of the judgment, letting go of measuring, right? Just be grateful. Be grateful with your portion. Be grateful for whatever's happening in your life right now. No matter what it is, it's happening on your behalf so that something else isn't happening, right? It's happening for you, not to you. So focus on the gratitude. Gratitude is such a high vibrational feeling on the vibrational scale. Have you guys ever seen that vibrational pyramid and it shows like from low vibrational feelings to high vibrational feelings? It's so helpful, such a helpful glyph to like look up on Google. Look it up on Google and save it, screenshot it, and save it in like a photo album in your photos as like a reference. If you need it, but that's a really awesome guide because it helps you get from like this feeling that you're into maybe like the next better feeling without having to jump over a chasm, right? Gives you more of the nuanced steps. It's like, have you ever seen the wheel of emotions? So there's so many more emotions than I ever think of. I'm just like, I feel good, I feel not as good. I feel bad, I feel sad, I feel happy, I feel angry. I'm irritated, frustrated. My teacher, David, taught us once that if you are feeling frustrated, it's not because you're not getting enough, it's because you have more than you can appreciate. So that is a golden nugget. If anything from this video, remember that. So this card will be the subconscious influence that is affecting the situation currently. Ooh, this is going to be a problem. So there's an issue that needs to be addressed. This is a bad choice, a wrong direction, not the right person, or habits need to change, okay? Something needs to be fixed, a wrong choice, don't ignore this, it will come back to bite you in the butt. So you're feeling, there's something going on right now where you know that there are things that need to change and maybe you're not quite sure what. Let's read the back of this card. The situation is only going to create chaos and calamity. As negativity builds, so too will the level of chaos that is experienced. For whatever reason, the situation is not gelling. So it needs to be faced head on and amended, healed, fixed, nixed, or corrected before we create more negativity for ourselves to cleanse. Think about everything you've worked so hard for. Is it worth it? Is your higher self asking you to do this or your lower self? That lower self can be tricky and sneaky when it feels abandoned and uncared for. Is there a part of you acting out to get your own loving attention? So are you acting out in order to get your own self-love, right? So something about an issue is going to be a problem, and it's something maybe in your subconscious, like maybe there's a subconscious issue that's going to be a block, or it's going to worry you or cast like a negative shadow or cloud over the situation. Like maybe there's a reservation, right? Maybe you're afraid to disappoint someone. Or afraid of what people will think, or there's some underlying fear that's still holding you back that's going to be a problem. Maybe you can see that there are aspects of your life that are going to be problematic, or they're not going to be good for you moving forward. So you're just like, you know what, this needs to go. This needs to be fixed. So pay attention to the subconscious things coming up. What is it that needs to be tended to? And that can be maybe even just the general theme of what we were just talking about, how, the square with Saturn is showing us like really what needs to be cleaned up and what needs to be worked on in order for us to get the best out of this next cycle. Okay, so this card is going to be the past influence that's clearing up. This has been something we've been working with, but it's not going to be such a thing that we're going to be tested on as much anymore. Emunah, absolute certainty, faith, understanding that you already possess everything that you desire. So I love this because when we are in a test of faith, it's like that's when we're in the heat. That's when we're in the struggle. That's when we are in the darkest times with the most uncertainty and the most confusion, in order so that we can build a legitimate, like, sturdy, stable level of faith and emunah, and faith beyond reason, faith that is certain beyond seeing to believe, but you can believe before you see. Also, here's emotional renewal. So it's like, okay, we're finally coming out of this time where we've been tested, we've been emotionally drained, and now we're getting like a sense of emotional renewal again. I think the Sagittarian energy is helping us feel optimistic and, you know, devil may care, and a little risky, a little devilish, you know, a little daring, feeling a little bit bold, and ready to F around and find out and see what happens, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so what's crowning us now? We are fretting, right? And fretting's not too serious, so I like this, not super anxious. Needless worry, unfocused attention, stop obsessing, calm down, it doesn't matter that much. Your frantic energy is making it worse. Peace, calm, everything will work out. No use crying over spilled milk. Stop, leave it alone. So worrying is making it worse. Worrying is just getting your energy into a hairball, right? So we just want to stay basically in a state of feeling peace and fulfillment in the Creator, right? And feeling at ease that the Creator has got everything under control and everything's going to work out, and Creator has got a plan. Just trusting in that, and then you can let go of the fretting, because really worrying about things has never helped, but it does create chaos. And you can just take like small steps. If you're overwhelmed, take one small step, and that helps alleviate the overwhelm. And then you take another small step and another small step towards the solution of what is keeping you, you know, what is keeping you fretting, instead of like being fretty about it and like frozen and not actually tending to the situation. Just put the fretting aside and take the first step you can towards alleviating the issue. So the next card is describing what's around the corner. Don't be lazy. So this has been a theme throughout this week in our like daily readings. We've been guided to be in a state of like, be resting, be actively like nourishing ourselves and doing intentional activities to prepare for this next cycle and to close out the old cycle. And don't feel like we have to build Rome tomorrow, but at the same time, like, don't be lazy. Don't be completely inactive right now. Like, be gentle in your activities and with your level of expectation with yourself, but keep on keeping on, right? Don't get lazy, don't get complacent. You want to keep the energy moving, and you want to be actively standing by. That way, when spirit gives you guidance, you can like take that action right away. In fact, there's a concept that I learned about in one of my more recent Kabbalah classes in Kabbalah 9, talking about spiritual laziness, right? Where are you being spiritually lazy? Where do you know you've been given instruction that you haven't taken action on, right? Like, have you been told in your heart that you need to get up earlier and you're still sleeping in, right? And so instead you start setting your alarm and don't press snooze, and you start getting out of bed with conviction, right? If you were told to go do something and take an action, or donate money to this thing, or whatever it is, what have you, and you haven't done that yet, you're being spiritually lazy. You're sleeping on Creator's, God's instructions to you, and you're procrastinating on, being obedient. So you need to take action promptly when you feel that the time is right, but don't use I don't feel like the time is right in order to be lazy, because you can't lie to God, and your vibration you can't lie with your vibration. You're not fooling anyone, not even yourself. Okay, so the next card will represent our perspective that's affecting the situation right now. Sometimes our perspective can be sort of blocking the situation, so this kind of is like your negative expectation. Graduation. So perhaps it's hard to leave the past behind. Perhaps it feels daunting to move forward because after graduation, right? Think about school. It gives you like the feeling that you're accomplishing something, but you still have the structure. It's still safe. You're still being taken care of. You're, not expected to be all out on your own yet. You're still have like the comfort of your student loan, or maybe like you're younger, so your parents are still taking care of you. And so sometimes when it comes time to be like done with school and graduate, that means leaving a nest in some way, leaving some form of comfort zone, what you've been used to, in order to go to your next level that's going to give you more of a challenge, right? So sometimes we are daunted by graduation and looking into our future. It's like such a blank slate right now. So that, it's like when you start to write a new story or you begin a new painting, you're looking at this blank page or this blank canvas and it's so pristine and you're like, how do I express this idea? And it's like you're scared to take the first mark or write the first word because you want it to be so perfect that you get blocked, right? And you plateau or you stagnate, right? So don't be afraid, because we are in a time right now that is so much like graduation, right? We're graduating, but we're going to the next level. Major healing, lesson truly embodied, wholeness, next level of evolution, completion, successful finish. Very well. The next card will represent the outer influence on us. Balance spending and saving, and compromise. So balance spending and saving, now is the time to find the Goldilocks zone between being miserly and penny pinching and lavish spending. Be practical but not too strict. If an unexpected opportunity or expense comes up, meet it with a sense of abundance. I did this the other day and it felt great. So something prompted me to take a cut from work, which is not like me. I'm all about like going into work and making money, and it makes me feel secure and sometimes almost too much. And so God's been challenging me recently to take more cuts and more opportunities to take the night off and direct my attention to other things. And so one day recently, I was excited about going into work, but I got the strongest feeling that I was supposed to take a cut. And so I didn't really want to do that, but I felt the impression on me was strong enough, and I was getting more clarity and more confirmation. And so I was like, okay, I don't want to be spiritually lazy. I've got to take action on this. So I took a cut and I went on a jog, and I came home and I saw that my tire was like gradually going flat, but it was like almost flat. And had I gone to work, I probably wouldn't have noticed, because my car wasn't driving weird or anything yet, and I would have been stranded. And so I got my tire checked. I needed a new tire, so I got a used tire. It was no big deal. I had the cash put in an envelope, and so I just did it. But like in the past, it might have been a situation that made me feel, like racing pulse, like threw my nervous system off, like, it made me feel like maybe fretting and in a panic. And it's like this time, it's like, okay, I just handled the situation. And so that's another example of how you might be put in these testy situations where you're like, why did this have to happen? But then when you look at how you're handling the situation, you feel your growth and you see your growth. And then it's even more healing, because you're like, oh my gosh, like, wow, like I really did handle that situation. And the old me would have been, flustered about it. And the new me not only did not go to work and make money, but I had to spend money that I wasn't expecting. And still, I was just like, yeah, whatever. And everything was fine. Everything was great. It was perfect. So wonderful, right? Balance that feeling of, when you need to make spend something, or when something special comes up, like just do it with a sense of abundance without feeling so, that financial terror. But in the meantime, though, like be responsible and set yourself up for those moments where something comes up. It's not such a big deal, because you're not impulsively spending all the time and like you're letting your money stack up. And so compromise also came out with that. So the situation requires give and take for a win-win situation. You don't have to compromise yourself or your values to find a healthy compromise in the situation. So I think that that is too, just reinforcing that idea that it's a balance. It's not all one way or the other. You don't have to be completely miserly or completely, lavish. You can have a little bit of both. I always like to live a pretty opulent and rich life, even though I can do it in a very frugal way. And I just find ways to enjoy things in a delicious way through the day and through the week, in small ways, in the things that I surround myself with, and the smells and the flavors and the tastes and the small things that give you richness and goodness. For instance, I am such a nerd about wanting a good cheese, to nibble on my nights off. Having a good cheese around is oh my gosh, trying different ones, so rich, right? So in little ways like that, you can be opulent without being too lavish, right? Even with perfumes now, you can find so many that are, inspired by designer scents for under $40. So you can try those. Okay, so our hopes and fears card is be patient. This is such so frustrating, but it's so true right now, because it's we're excited, we're impatient, we're anxious, we're come on, I just want my opportunities to show up. I want something to change. I want something to bear fruit. I want this exciting new chapter to begin. I want something good. And the universe is just be patient. Things are developing, and you don't want to go try to fill a void really quickly and then miss the really good thing. And chances are, when we up level and increase our magnetism, a flurry of opportunities usually show up in any given area of your life that you're kind of putting your attention and energy into. So it's good to wait to see what presents before you just go settling in on the first option that shows up, thinking that, oh, this is the option. There's probably going to be a plethora of options in each category that you might be thinking about right now. So be patient. Just let go, stop obsessing, release and surrender, and get lost in the moment. Enjoy the rest of the year, enjoy the holidays. Don't keep looking over your shoulder, because that leaks your energy, it leaks your aura. And also it's you are trying to control the situation and micromanage the universe, which causes blocks, because you're getting in your own way, you're getting the creator's way, and you're not in faith, you're in scarcity at that moment. And so you're not in affinity with the light of the creator. Therefore, you are not in union with the creator, and you cut yourself off from harmony and blessings. So unity. Okay, what is this card? Let's see. Prosperity and abundance. Oh my God, the final outcome. Yay! Such a great card to get for that position. So you have plenty. Do something small to affirm your abundance to yourself. You have sneaky lack hiding in the shadows of your perceptions. Nip it in the bud before it causes problems. So lack and scarcity mentality are hiding in the shadows of your subconscious, right? This is going to be a problem. So nip it in the bud. Do something small to affirm to yourself that God is your provider, that your sustenance is not going to get cut off, and that you are okay. You are abundant. And you have to do that, though, with a sense of certainty and abundance. You can't do it oh my God, did I make the wrong decision? And second guess yourself. Just don't do anything huge. Just do something small, right? Buy a candle, get a nice dessert or something. Do something small for yourself. If it's take a shift off, whatever. Do something to reaffirm to yourself that you're abundant and things are okay. All right. Let's get 4 tarot cards to kind of cap off the reading, round it all off. Ooh, Knight of Wands. So feeling really inspired and feeling a lot of energy, but also the Knight of Wands can be sort of impulsive and hot-headed and want to rush out and do it all. Slow down. Also, the Knight of Wands, even though they're enthusiastic and like passionate and they want to jump in and get going, they have a lot of initiative, but they can be impulsive, but also be wary of the whole shiny object syndrome. So if you have a tendency to get almost to your finish line and then you're like, you know what that looks like it'd be fun, and you like shift gears, stay focused, like stay the course. Shiny object syndrome, or being non-committal, or having lack of follow-through or commitment or discipline or like consistency, that can be tied to father wounds, right? This is like a masculine energy, right? So think about that, but don't let your energy and your excitement get away from you right now. Channel it with intention and use it in healthy ways that get you, start getting you set up for this next cycle. We've got Page of Cups here. So this is keeping your heart open, right? Moving forward into this new chapter. While the last tests are coming through Mercury retrograde, don't hold any grudges. Like when people come back and like do something that makes you feel like, why do we have to go through this again? Like hold on to the forgiveness, hold on to the healing, hold on to that, because the ego is going to want to cause division right before the blessing comes in. Unity gives us affinity of form with the Creator, and when we are in union with the people that we love and unity, then we are almost unstoppable. But it's when division comes in and tears people apart, creates grudges and separation, that separates us and cuts us off from our blessing. So keep an open heart, keep your actions and your aims set on what upholds your values. What's in alignment with your values? Is it holding a grudge? Is it being right? Or do you want to be in fulfillment and harmony, right? We don't have to abandon ourselves to decide to not hold a grudge and to keep moving forward and just to accept, the reality that it is, and not expect everybody else to be where you want them to be, right? People are going to be different, and you have to love them and accept that people are different, right? And embrace people's differences. At the very least, accept them. Page of Pentacles, we're going into a new learning situation, and we have a lot to learn, but we're enthusiastic and we're ready to get our feet wet and our hands dirty. So it's really exciting. Rolling up our sleeves, maybe doing a little bit of research and development during the winter months and the holidays. That way, come springtime, when it's action time, you're really taking calculated actions, and you've done all your homework. But don't hold yourself back in a state of perfectionism, thinking that you're not ready to move forward, because sometimes the pitfalls of the Page of Pentacles is that they drag their feet and they don't launch because they want to get another certification, or they don't feel like they're qualified, or they have imposter syndrome. They're not confident in their skills yet. And so it just takes getting your feet wet and like getting out there and trying and doing. Trial by fire. Okay, so pages, we got 2 pages here, so we might be getting messages coming in, maybe in both love and money, because Page of Cups is emotional and Page of Pentacles is money. We also have the Death card here. Dun 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 dun. But this is good, because we are like in this transformation, we are moving forward. The past is behind us, the old is dead, right? So we're doing that funeral march, and we're on our way to the wake. We're gonna have a deli tray, and then we're gonna go into the new chapter. But the past is behind us, the old is now gone, and we have 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So I think this is all gonna come out in the highest good and in a positive way. And yeah, the metamorphosis is complete. In fact, I saw somebody posted a video of a caterpillar in a time lapse through the whole process of becoming from caterpillar to shedding that skin, becoming the chrysalis, being the cocoon and then shedding the cocoon and coming out as the butterfly. I've never seen that whole process take place before, and it never occurred to me like, oh, they don't like go into a cocoon, they become the cocoon and then they melt away. It's insane, right? So the metamorphosis is complete. All right, let's get an angel. Let's get a moonology card. Get a little insight from the moon. Ooh, what do we have? Don't let pride get in your way. See, would you rather be happy or would you rather be fulfilled? So moving forward is just like hold on to all the healing that we've been able to get to be able to experience. Full moon in Leo energy. So, and then shining our light, putting our gifts out there. And then what is this? Nothing will come of the situation. So don't worry, like you're fretting, like whatever it is that you're worried about, like nothing, it's not what you are, there's nothing to be worried about. Nothing's going to come of it anyway. So don't let pride get in your way. Keep your heart open, keep moving forward. Okay. I just heard the song, Don't Stop Believing. Oh my gosh, y'all. When I picked this deck up to shuffle before, to shuffle it before I started the camera, like I pre-shuffle the cards as I laid them out, the Lovers was at the bottom of the deck. And so I shuffled the deck and I was like, oh, the Lovers. And I was like, wouldn't it be nice? And then we got the Lovers again, which makes total sense because this is like a crossroads, right? And so now when we're moving into this new chapter and like season 2 of life, the new us has starting, because I feel like last 6 months or so have been season 1 where like the character is introduced, right? And you see like where they are in the moment, like who their main inner circle of characters is around them and like what they're doing and like, you know, what they're up to. And then it's like in season 2, that's when like the plot starts to thicken. Like they get into like some kind of like pursuit, you know, their outer character challenge starts to arise and then their inner journey starts as well. So like we're getting into season 2 now, or things are starting to flesh out. But we just got out of season 1 of the new us life. So what do we have here? Oh my gosh, that angel Raphael is pretty good looking. I just want to share this with you guys. It's pretty hot. Hot angel. Embrace true love and deep, intimate friendships. Make choices from the heart, vibrant health, or recovery from an illness. So the Lovers is about making choices. It's like a Y in the road. And it's about integrating that masculine and feminine into that divine, sacred union within, right? And so that means that our spiritual work and our intuition, it's like we can tune in and listen to that intuition, and then when it's time, we can put that intuition into action. And our spiritual work is then materialized in our outer behavior and our outer expression in the ways that we share, and that's the masculine, right? So it's like we get the intuitive hit and we can take that action. Feminine, masculine. We can be that person in the world that is a reflection of our true soul and true spirit, right? Feminine, internal, masculine, external. And so we're at this juncture where like a new chapter is starting. And so now we have this choice. Okay, we've got this empty new house. What are we going to fill it with? So it's like about making those choices along the way. Don't rush those choices. Choose things that are beautiful, that work and fit and, you know, create function and beauty for you, right? Think about that in the terms of your life going forward. What's in alignment with your goals and your values? What fills you up with love and beauty and inspiration? Like make those choices from the heart, right? We just did life part 1 according to what everybody else wanted us to do and worried about what will people think, and this is what society expects. And then what happened is everybody that I know, everything around them crumbled to ash. People change their careers, people get divorces, people move across the country, people have to start from scratch. Like whatever it is, most of us at this point have come to a point in the road where our life that we had formerly built has washed away. And now we get to start over. So we're not going to do that again. We're not going to just abandon our soul and be inauthentic to fit in again and to build another tower, a house of cards built on lies and facades, right? We've got to follow the soul this time. So don't be afraid to make choices from the heart, even if it seems counterintuitive, but when your heart and soul are leading you so clearly in your heart of hearts, not the corrupted part, right? But the real pure voice of spirit moving on you. Like, we've got to make those choices, even if people don't agree and they don't get it. Okay, because they may not, right? And sometimes that's a test of our valor, is to be able to do what we believe in, even if other people don't understand it, even if it doesn't make sense to other people. We can't wait for other people to give us permission or validation, right? Because it won't come. Father healing, what is that? Knight of Wands, right? The father wound that we were just talking about. So really working on our discipline to stick with things and stay focused. Don't get distracted. Don't start running around in a bunch of different directions. Don't start biting off more than you can chew, right? Don't be non-committal. Be consistent with things. Be dependable with yourself. Be impeccable with your word. Show up and follow through. Your personal power increases as you give any father-related issues to heaven. In the meantime, in parallel to working on the patterns that resulted from the father wound, work on praying about your relationship to your father, to the Heavenly Father. Do this at night before you go to bed. Pray that you will heal your father, the relationship with your father, or your understanding of who your father is, who your Heavenly Father is, and who Father is as an archetype, and what the reality is of our earthly father. All right, what do we have here? Protection. So feel the protection of that fatherly energy, right? From that, like, sometimes we have trouble believing that God can be a protector, right? Because we subconsciously see God as like the stern father that's going to punish, right? And so it's like a challenge now as we heal those father issues to start feeling protected, feeling that God is a loving father. You, your loved ones, and your possessions are safe and protected by heaven. So again, this is a little bit of soothing balm for the fretting. This is another like reinforcement of the consciousness of abundance, like reinforcing that with ourselves, that we are abundant, that we are blessed. Look, blessed change. Hallelujah. A major life change brings you great blessings. Amazing. So that's very Jupiter expansion, abundance, good fortune energy right there. I love that. So blessed change is coming. New cycles are starting. They're going to be really good. We're putting in the work right now. Dream big. Ooh, don't hold back, girl. Let go of small thoughts about yourself. See yourself succeeding. So we're in this new moon energy right now. So it's important that we keep our consciousness like so impeccable, so optimistic. Think big about the possibilities that are out there for yourself. Don't hold back. You know, the challenge in the first thrush of the new moon energy is to keep your consciousness really positive, because the seed level that we're creating with is flavored on that consciousness, right? So if we can avoid becoming shadowy, becoming like, you know, out of control, impulsive or impetuous, you know, or, rash, stay in your higher frame of mind, and then avoid the pitfalls of Sagittarius as well, like maybe overindulgence or being temperamental or hot-headed or boorish or stubborn, or like maybe acting without thinking. Okay, so our pulling some cards on our love life. First two cards is release your ex. It's time has come to clear your energy. So as we move away from that old timeline, we are in a Mercury retrograde. We may be thinking back on the old relationships and what happened in those relationships, and maybe thinking about, you know, painful memories and all of it. And just as you do, just keep using that as a cathartic chance to just keep letting it go, keep releasing it, keep affirming to yourself how good it was that it didn't work out, right? And keep thinking about the positive aspects of how you've grown since that, but let it go. Don't keep holding on. Don't hold on to the grudge. Don't hold on to the regrets. Don't hold on to the disappointment. Don't hold on to the broken trust. Don't hold on to listful, wishful thinking. Just think about new things coming in. Honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So we are in holiday season. Enjoy the bliss of holidays with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends. There may be something new coming in during this holiday season, and that's why you need to let go of any ties to the past. Keep yourself open, because you're going to be going to parties and events and things. We're going to be out and about, so you never know when you can meet someone. Make the effort. So if you get invitations, use this as a time to get excited about your outfits and get out there, make an effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So what's on your list for steps you're guided to take this year? Where is Spirit leading you that you might run into someone that you could meet? Take those steps. Okay, what do we have here? Codependency. So addictions are affecting your romantic life. So this is a perfect theme to be addressed under a Sagittarius moon, because Sagittarius can have a little bit of addictive tendencies because they kind of overindulge or go a little bit overboard. So think about where you have been tested and grown and evolved through your tendencies to be codependent. In what ways have you been codependent in the past? Do you have addictions now that are costing you or that are holding you back? Because they may be affecting your love life, right? So it's maybe get honest with yourself, and maybe, think about that as we're talking, we have New Year's resolutions, and goals and manifestation lists for the year to come. Maybe you can start thinking about, as we're letting go of those things that don't work or drain our aura or drain us of our energy, it's what are those things that we feel own us, that we don't own them, right? All right, let's get some advice from Mary, Mother Mary, Queen of Angels, Jesus's mother. What would you have us, what would you say to us for the rest of the month, Mary? What are your motherly advice? Boundaries. I am clear and honest with others about my expectations. So as we learn to set healthier boundaries and as we take actions to set those boundaries, it increases our magnetism and it helps us in our up-leveling. So this can be not only with others, but with yourself. Boundaries with yourself look like following through on the promises you make to yourself, being dependable to yourself, showing up for those healthy routines. If you have told yourself you don't want to stay up past a certain hour, then set an alarm to put your butt to bed, and follow through. Get up on time. If you are I don't want to, go out more than this many times per week or per month, set that boundary for yourself and maintain it. But show up for your routines. For me, I've felt really good for the past couple of weeks because I've been showing up for my writing routine. And so that's felt really good, even though I just have a very meetable minimum every day. If I can type one card in, I have done what I have to for that day, but many times I will do more, right? Because I'm okay, I feel good, I'm motivated, I've got some time, let's knock more out, right? So staying with it gives you that sense of self-esteem, and you believe in yourself, and you start to get really excited and build momentum, and it feeds your optimism and enthusiasm. And then before you know it, you've made a huge difference by being consistent, and things add up over time. So before you know it, you've done so much and you don't even realize it. Okay, and last but not least, loving words from Jesus. You are the light of the world. Matthew 5:14. So connecting with that light, connect with the Christ, right? Get to know Jesus if you don't already, and invite the Christ in to work with you. Become friends with Jesus. Talk to him. The energy and influence he will have over you will be positive and enlightening, and it will be comforting and reassuring and warm, and sometimes it will help you set those boundaries with yourself, right? But you know what I love? This is like a very like 101 starter way to get into it, but just watch the show The Chosen. You know, you don't have to start becoming a theologian, but just like open yourself up to it, you know, let yourself watch it, let yourself, you know, enjoy, like if you feel like it's cheesy, let yourself get into it. But I think it helps humanize Jesus, and it takes the bad taste away from how we associate Jesus with like just memories of church growing up. You know, we need to separate that. And I think that show does a really good job at making Jesus a full human character, as well as a divine character, but in the most human way. So I think it's really cool. So maybe give it a shot. But that light right there helps fuel your own light on days when you don't have any, right? And if you can connect to that light, the light of source, right? And you know, Jesus, what did he do? He was connecting with the light of God every day, right? And he completely stayed plugged into that. He did have to go take time by himself. He did have to recharge and renew, but that's what he went to recharge and to keep his light going. So make time every day for yourself to have a spiritual practice. I like to have short ones throughout the day. Like in the morning, I have prayers and ways to set my consciousness and intention, and I kind of check in the middle of the day and throughout the day, and then definitely at night before I go to bed, I have those solid routines. But I think that helps a lot. All right, y'all, good luck out there. Happy new moon in Sagittarius, and don't forget that this new moon energy affects the entire moon cycle, the whole month, not just the waxing period. So make the most of what you can do in this expansive and enthusiastic and optimistic energy. Try new things, be adventurous, get out there. Don't hold yourself back. Don't hold yourself back out of wariness. Be open and honest with your feelings. Ciao. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it, then please give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to be notified of when I drop content. Like the videos, comment, share them. Anything that you do helps these messages get out to other people who need them. So you watching a video and taking an action on it actually makes a positive difference in someone else's life.